Well, here we are on Event Icons live from Pelican Hill.
Woohoo!
We do things normally live from shows. We don't always get to do things live just from where I happen to be. So this is really fun for me. Hi, I'm Tahira, the host of Event Icons. Today we have our amazing guests with us, Schulte and Robert Marusi. So we're just going to give you guys the basics first. You know that we are on live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. PST, 5 p.m. EST, and wherever you are in Europe, 8 hours later, or 5 hours later, or 4 hours later. Depends on where you are. So here we go.
It's Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, so you know what that means. It's time for another episode of #Event Icons. Presented by Endless Events. The show where you get to ask the icons of the events industry anything. Just go to www.event-icons.com to ask questions. Our iconic guests will answer them live during the entire show. Before we get started, the more people we have watching, the better the conversation. So please help share #Event Icons on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Just tell your friends to watch at www.event-icons.com. Now, without any further delay, this is #Event Icons.
Jean, tell us a little bit about you and your role here at Pelican Hill.
Well, I am the Director of Incentive Sales here at Pelican Hill, working with Robert and our sales team, bringing groups and incentives and rewarding and recognizing top achievers from corporate America and associations and board meetings. And every day is an absolute joy to be here and share this amazing location.
This really is an amazing location. Later on, we're going to do a little pan view for all of our viewers, and so they can see everything that's going on. So Robert, tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you. Robert Marusi, Director of Sales and Marketing at this beautiful resort. I've been here for 2 years and going on. Been to many other properties, many other brands, but it's a pleasure to be here at this independently owned and managed brand, which is quite different in our world.
Yes, it is.
And I run the sales organization from FIT Leisure Business to the group side of the business to our whole PR and social media departments as well.
You know what I was thinking about today? I was thinking that, we just finished our very small group here, and the whole time I felt like we were the only group here. And I think that to me is, I always call it the magic of hotels. And I think that you seem to have mastered that art. I know there's other groups here. I've seen them.
Yep.
But I haven't felt them. Yeah. And I haven't felt them in any way that the service was delivered to us. And I haven't felt them in any way of, like, it really felt like we had our own space. And that's super cool. And one of, I think, actually the nice things about this resort. So, all right, we're going to ask you the questions we always start with.
Okay.
So what got you into the events industry?
Well,
or meetings industry, I really more in this case.
So smack out of college, I was in banking and got into banking and realized very quickly that was not a good fit and how much I missed interacting with people. And, so I actually went for an informational interview with a hotel, got hired into sales of a newly opened luxury boutique hotel. And the beginning of my luxury hotel career started. It's been almost 30 years, and I have never looked back. Every day is different, and I absolutely am passionate and still learning and growing and working with some amazing people. So that was how I got my start.
So if you weren't doing this, do you have another dream job?
And it's funny, every role has been a stepping stone, and I've learned something fantastic in every role, whether it's been leading a division but really I've come full circle and I'm back to what I love doing, which is working with customers and keeping my hand on an incentive program in the development phase and operation phase and seeing it come to fruition. And that's really is working closely with the relationships that I've built over all these years.
I was so hoping you were going to say I want to be an electronic music DJ, but that is great that you have found your actual passion and get to do it every day. That's how I feel too.
Certainly her jam, EDM.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, if I could have my own thoroughbred racing farm, I would do that. I did some hunter jumper when I was younger, and amongst other golf type driven
I like how you've actually just, your whole life has been luxury. Like if I wasn't working in this luxury property, I would be working on my thoroughbred farm.
Exactly. It's good to have big dreams.
Yes, no, I'm fully in support of that. Absolutely. What about you, Robert?
I started this business in college, and my father owned a restaurant in New York City for a long time with his mom on the west side of New York. And he always...
Was it an Italian restaurant?
It was an Italian restaurant. Yeah. And he always said, you know, if you want to get a job going to college, get into a restaurant. You have the most cash in your pocket than any of your friends. And so I entered the business actually out here in California many, many years ago at the Santa Barbara Biltmore. That's where I started my career. Yep. And I was in food and beverage for 15 years with Ritz-Carlton, with Marriott, quite a bit of it with Marriott. And then I left the business for 15 years and ran my own sales organization. And
you sold something unusual, I seem to recall. Something unrelated to hospitality.
I did. My brother and I saw a niche opportunity to sell concrete equipment in the Northeast and grow a business on the first rebuild of the World Trade Center and into the Central Artery rebuild project in Boston. And it was an opportunity for me to own my own thing, run a sales organization, make my own schedule, raise my children, and concentrate on my family, and it was good. But I always missed the business. And I came back years ago and came back in a sales capacity. And often people will ask me, gee, how did you bridge the gap from food and beverage to sales? Quite easily, right?
Yeah.
Because in food and beverage, you're selling every day as well.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Now, I just want to talk quickly about food and beverage. We're going to talk about it a bit more later, but we had this fantastic lunch. Well, we had all the food here was amazing, but I loved where we did the lunch where there was the risotto that was poured into the Parmesan wheel with the executive chef was out there. We could make choose our own ingredients for our risotto. That was fantastic. And also an Italian restaurant on property.
Yeah.
So that.
You want to talk about that?
Well, we both can. You know, I mean, obviously, one of the key differentiating factors about what's so special about Pelican Hill is the Italian flavor and the influence.
It is like an Italian villa.
It is. And, you know, Andrea Palladio, the 16th century architect, is the influence and the foundation of the hotel. And Andrea is our signature restaurant. It's Northern Italian. We make homemade pasta every day. And we wanted the site board to experience, you know, a little bit of
you know, we've been talking about sort of these luxury experiences. So how do you define luxury now in this like day and age? You want to take that?
Sure. It's certainly not one answer, right? It's very personal. It's very relevant to the group or the individual who's traveling here. One of the things we try and do more than anything is we try and get the qualifying questions done up front. We try and really understand through our partnerships what is really important, what is the vision, what are they trying to achieve, so then that we can deliver the last moments of truth there and really deliver it to the client, right? And then make it special and then put our swoosh on that makes it tailored to what they want and build something different that elevates it. That's luxury. It's different, and we train on that every day. We have our stand-ups go on every day in every department for 20, 25 minutes on every shift.
Wow.
And we talk about it.
Yeah.
And we spend a lot of time talking about it.
So glad you brought that up. I think that's probably one of the key differentiators for any hotel organization is the stand-up.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a basic, fundamental meeting that goes on every day, but it's a briefing that encompasses everyone who's in house, what our mission is for the day, how we're focusing on it. And luxury to me is that +1 service, and it's something that we talk about here at Pelican Hill all the time, is what is the +1? So you may have asked for one thing, and we will deliver that +1.
Yeah.
So it's continually anticipating what they want even before they know it.
Yes.
And having that, wow, how did they know? Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
Or something like that that creates memories.
And I have like so many, you know, examples of just that. You know, it was our president showing up in the curbside service so he didn't have to go to the front desk. It was that we did specific amenities for each guest, knowing where they had traveled from. Some people traveled 2 hours, some people traveled 18 to get here. And I know, one of our board members she's from Turkey, and so she got a special amenity that was the foods that I know that she loves.
Right.
Because we've talked about that. And when she actually didn't feel that well after her day of travel. And so I was like, oh, what did you think of your amenity? And she said, oh my God, it was amazing. Ended up being dinner. And I was so happy that that's what was there. But it's the smallest details that really, to me, elevate it to that next level. And I love that idea of +1.
Right. And, we asked the question and then you delivered the individualized preferences. And that was fantastic because we were then able to take it to another level so that so everyone didn't get the same thing.
But
everyone
you could
got
also
something that was
have just
meaningful.
been like many places and just thrown in some strawberries. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
But you didn't.
The fruit bowl.
That's the fruit bowl. Yes. I love a good fruit bowl, but yes. But sometimes I'm surprised because I'm here for one night. Why do I have 18 pieces of fruit? I mean, it's
right.
Right. Exactly.
It is all about that, right? It is all about the influence of the social responsibility part of it, which we're weaving into meetings and events all the time, right? And how can we make that better? And what's important to the group in that aspect? And how can we connect to the corporate structure that we're servicing to make it meaningful for them? That's what we want to know.
I think that's really a big thing too now is this, how do you also, how do we do luxury, but also social responsibility? So what are some of the things that for example, I know let's talk about this amazing golf course that's around us and the water recovery system.
Yeah.
We live in California. I don't live in California. You live in California.
But you can. We would love that,
We're recruiting her.
Yeah,
we're going to keep her.
So this is a state of drought. I think that's everyone pretty much knows that. And, so a golf course could be seen as, it's a luxury to have a golf course. So can you talk to me a little bit about the water recovery that they're doing? Because I think it's all these small things that properties are doing that are making a difference.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll start, but, our setting here is on the Pacific Ocean, as you know.
It's very beautiful. It's right there.
And it's pristine. It's for as far as the eye can see. And, we have this just incredible 500-acre resort with 2 championship golf courses, and so much care and concern was put into the water capturing system.
Yeah.
Why don't you share a little bit about
the golf
water
courses
capturing?
were repurposed many years ago. So the golf courses were here first. They were here 25, 26 some odd years ago. And then we repurposed them prior to the opening of this hotel 10 years ago. And we added several million-gallon cisterns that we call, and we're a zero-discharge facility. So every bead of water that runs off, we capture and reuse, and that's millions of gallons a year. It's quite a bit, and then we repurpose it back to all of our plantings and the surroundings and growth and greens and fairways and everything else. So in mid-August, when everybody else is burnt out on their fairway, we're still as green as could be.
That's amazing.
Reusing the water. Yeah.
I think it's really important. I think it's just, as we were in Frankfurt last week for IMEX, we met with the SDG group, so Sustainability Development Group, which is a group of people from the event industry and hotel industry who are looking at actually matching to United Nations standards. So doing a lot of work with United Nations around sustainability and sustainable tourism. But it is one resort, one property, one destination at a time. And it's every level. It's not just do we recycle aluminum or bottles. It's about how do we take care of these pristine environments in responsible ways. And I think that it really matters. So I love these stories. They make me feel full of joy, actually.
And that you can still maintain it in a beautiful way and take care of the environment at the same time.
Absolutely.
So key.
Yes. And it's that location, right? I mean, you are in, as you go up and down the highway, you're surrounded, it just feels very urban. And then all of a sudden you're in this beautiful resort. And as you said, endless ocean, so we know what draws people here: sun, sand, golf. And it's also a unique property in that you have the villas over bungalows that are your hotel essentially, but you have these larger villas just up here that I'm looking at that are amazing. That people will come and live in for months at a time. Right. And that's, and it's also blending that residential
And that's who we are. We're very residential by feel and by nature and what we are, the way this campus is laid out. Even the rooms are very residential feeling. There's nothing really hotel about this other than, we're the resort at Pelican Hill and people denote that as a hotel. But we're not a traditional hotel by any stretch. We're a Tuscan village set, above the Pacific with a 500-acre unobstructed
I
view.
really wish you had an olive tree in a vineyard.
Well, we have many olive trees on the property.
The ancient
that we
olives.
brought here from Italy. So, yeah.
Excellent. Do you make your own oil?
We don't.
The other thing, this was just so exciting for me. So, as I've been traveling a lot, I really try to not eat beige food because you will not fit into your clothes.
Right. You told me that.
But I have to tell you, the other morning so Amanda, because we've had these conversations about sustainability, she said, I really don't like those little jars of jam. What can we do? And your chef made 5 kinds of jam.
I heard
strawberry
watermelon.
fig, raspberry, watermelon jam. And, so now they're in containers that are now, there's no waste from that. And they were delicious. And I probably ate half a loaf of challah bread, I'm not going to lie.
Those are the moments you want to do that. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't feel bad about it at all.
Good.
But again, it's that sort of like that, what's the plus one? So if we don't want to have little jars of jam, and I love when you work with people who take that sort of that next level thinking. It's really...
Listen, part of our
key.
culture and our stand-up and what we talk about here in service is that each colleague here is empowered. And we're 332 keys here in this resort. At any given time, we have 1,000, 1,200 colleagues, all empowered to do whatever it takes, regardless of how much it costs, to deliver the service to the guests.
Which again, amazing. So let's
amazing.
talk about, you're obviously creating a culture that people deeply feel that sense of service.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then let's kind of just turn that back to incentive events. So how do you guys, when you're talking to clients and you're seeing those organizations that are now going to use this as their desirable destination that they're bringing people to for an incentive, what are some of the trends that you're seeing in organizations as they're starting to build their incentive programs and using those destinations?
Yeah.
I mean, really, I think that when someone comes to visit the resort at Pelican Hill, we sit down first and we talk either in advance or on property about what their mission, vision, culture is and the flavor of that particular culture and that company, what it is they're trying to achieve, and where they've been in the past, what's gone well, what maybe has or has not, and what does success look like to them for this program. And then we will go ahead and begin talking through things that are unique here that we do exceptionally well. We have a lot of in-house experience design that's gone into, that's authentic and indigenous and that they can experience here, create memories that they will take with them that will reflect back on the corporate host. And that's really the goal for us.
Well, because what you always want as the organization is that when people go back, they are talking about their experience, and then it's now motivating people for the next year to increase their own sales and service as well.
I mean, indigenous travel, whether it's FIT leisure business or whether it's incentive travel, they both want the same connection. They want to understand what's going on with the culture, what is it that's unique about that area, and it is about the destination first. Regardless of what we think as hotelier is saying, it's all about our hotel and asset. It really is about getting into the destination and understanding the people and being part of that, and then bringing in all the locally sourced items and things, whether it's art, food and beverage, or whatever it is, to send them back with a unique experience.
Yes. That they couldn't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's what luxury is connecting attendees, with experiences, celebrities, luminaries in their field who are at the top of their field, and create memories in this environment, and again, connect it back to their host. And I thought that also getting a chance to thank and reward the spouse or the guest that is with them, that's supporting them all year long throughout their journey of trying to make those goals and qualify for that incentive, is equally important. Yeah.
It is equally important. And I think it's also, too, this is a lovely property to bring a guest to.
It is.
And that's one of the, most of the incentive programs I've done in my career have been a couples program or a companion program. And I just find that they really just do work better than an individual in most cases because you've worked hard for that reward. I mean, there's definitely times that there's individual incentive programs, but certainly this is the kind of place that you don't want to come by yourself.
No.
You want to come and share it with someone.
And create those memories together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, truth of the matter is, our greatest sales organization are clients who come here. Whether it's on an incentive trip and or whether it's leisure business, because we deal with a pretty discerning crowd that, perhaps it may be a C-suite level person and his wife or partner or significant other, what have you. And they go home and they go back to their executive committee and go, I want our group there.
Right.
Right.
We all know the CEO's wife usually makes the decision for any incentive program. Let's get real.
We all know that usually the partner or the woman of the household is the decision maker.
Yes. Well, in general, but I can't tell you how many programs you pitch 5 destinations and the one that gets chosen is the one the CEO's wife wants to go to. So we do a lot of work to make that not happen, but that is the practical reality. I've ended up in some pretty interesting destinations because of that.
It's the biggest sector in travel.
Yes.
Women.
Really?
Absolutely.
He's
without a doubt. When you look at it, it's health and wellness.
Yeah.
You look at indigenous travel and cultural connection. You look at women, and you look at culinary and F&B
and families.
Family
decisions.
Multi-generational.
Where they're going.
So.
It is multi-generational, but let's talk more about that. That is really interesting to me. So more women are traveling?
More women are traveling independently.
Yes.
More women are traveling together. Mm-hmm. There are more women conferences today than ever. Mm-hmm. And the woman is making the decision, typically in a partnership or a household.
Yeah. And what kinds of, when we say health and wellness, what are the things they're looking for?
Well, I mean, I think health and wellness is probably the biggest growing sector, the biggest growing experience sector. Is that everyone is working really hard. There's a level of stress out there that's healthy, to have a certain level of stress in our lives. But trying to maintain a sense of balance and a sense of rejuvenation, being recharged, all of those things, you come to an environment like this where you can engage and try new things. Maybe someone hasn't gone before, and we set up a whole instruction program. Or it's spa and we're doing yoga. We offer yoga out here on the event lawn, or we do painting and Prosecco, and we can do that on the event lawn as well. Bubbles and blooms. Are you noticing a theme here?
Yes.
Beverages. So, I think that wellness and the takeaway, that people are able to take something back with them that they've learned about how they can add that to their life in a new way, will forever tie them to the hotel and to their sponsoring host.
Yeah.
So.
Agreed.
Yeah. And it is lovely here. I mean, we went this morning, 5 of us got on a little shuttle and we went down to the beach at 6:30 in the morning, and
I love that.
Aoife led us in some beach yoga, and then the boys ran and the girls walked. We were like, oh, have a good time. We're just going to
something for everyone now.
Yes,
right?
It was great. I was perfectly happy to watch them run,
I love it.
Which was very good. But
and
I think
taking an electric bike down there too.
What?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's Robert's favorite thing right now is the electric bikes.
Well, because it's easier to get back up.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
And so those are on property, so people could just take
They are.
Yeah.
What?
We have quite
it's
a few.
kind of
like
the
we
new
missed out on
craze
that.
in California and a lot of different places. Because you can still pedal and bike and still get some power to go up hills.
Yes.
And go on the beach.
And on the
You go right down on the beach with some big balloon tires and ride, and you have a smile on your face the size of
course you
California.
do. I know. Look, I'm smiling just thinking about it. Like, oh, let's go do that. Forget sitting here and talking. Let's go for a bike ride. So one of the things earlier this year, I was in Las Vegas doing some sites, and I was with some young leaders from our program, and one of them was saying that when they did their internship, they went through 37 departments in a hotel.
amazing.
Okay. No, so here's what was amazing to me: sales, marketing, banquets, kitchen, front desk, housekeeping. Then I was like, what are all of those other engineering?
Laundry.
Okay, good. I'm up to 7.
Laundry.
So what else happens that
golf,
makes this magic that we call hotels happen?
There is so much behind the scenes. I mean, our human resources team is second to none, because really every single employee that comes through our doors goes through a training program. They do not start until they go through the training program. We do have an adamant policy about that.
For sure.
And
It's
making
growing.
sure-
It was a day and a half. We're making it 2 days, which still isn't enough time, but at least we're spending the resources to indoctrinate that person into our culture, because it is a cultural training here.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the servant business, and we try and pick people who have that in their DNA, right? We can teach them the technical part of the job, but we can't teach them the servant part of the job to be ready to serve at any given time. So we spend a lot of time talking about the cultural piece here, really do. And it becomes discipline, it becomes habit, it just becomes the culture of who we are.
So whether you're in, let's go back to my 7 departments. Right. So engineering, housekeeping. What else? What are the other ones that I don't know, that I don't even know about, that I think
purchasing? You have purchasing for all the food. You have banquets. You have stewarding. The stewarding team who set up every event. You have our laundry team. You have the housekeepers, and then you have the evening turn down team that comes in and handles the evening turn down service. There are so many layers to each area. It's really fantastic.
It is amazing. It's like, yes, our
sommelier team, our culinary team. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, I think it's just. I love hotels, but I always think of it as the magic of hotels. It's just like I come in as a meeting planner, and I'm just like, and I'd like these 17 things to happen simultaneously. And then they do. And it's just amazing to me. And that every time I just feel like I'm the only meeting planner in the hotel. Because it's just...
That's when the magic really happens.
Yeah.
When you feel that way, because that is the goal.
Yeah.
And obviously we're about 95% occupied tonight. I think I was told.
You would never know.
And you wouldn't know that.
No.
No.
And that's our
Especially
secret
since we made
sauce.
everyone stay away from this area.
We did.
That's who we are, though, as a hotel.
It works. Those memos work.
We're not a big group conference house. Although we pay big attention to 35-40% of our business, which is group. The rest is on the leisure side.
Yeah.
So when you're going back to your original statement, when you're a group here, we're making sure that you're in an area that feels private to your group. We're not crossing groups all the time, and we pay particular attention to layering in our business that way. And to make it very private.
Yes. So, for example, the space that we're sitting on right now, you can see the event lawn behind us, which is a 5,000 square foot lawn with our rotunda, which is one of our signature locations. This patio and the ballroom that's directly behind it, our 5,200 square foot ballroom, this all goes together. We do not book more than one.
And this is where the brides have their secret rooms.
They
and
do.
Then they can walk out to the rotunda and get
the bridal
married.
Suite there, which
I saw a wedding here the other day. It was beautiful.
It's
one at a time.
We do one a day.
We never cross a bride.
No.
We never have two brides on property.
We've all seen bride wars, right?
Any given day, one bride.
That's smart.
Yeah.
I would want to be the only bride here.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Amanda and her wedding team, they do a fantastic job.
They really do. So what are the hot buttons that you're seeing for planners that's maybe, you guys have been doing this for me for a long time. So what's changed? What are the things that, it used to be, let's talk about dietary. It used to be that people had lactose intolerance. Now nobody has that, but everybody has a list. I know our list is ridiculous. So, so that's one thing, but what are some of the other things that are really changing?
I think you're right, what you hit on with the dietary, but what's interesting and amazing to me is that chef takes that list, appreciates it, and then crafts these beautiful menus in and around that, that's magic in and of itself. I hear more and more authentic indigenous experiences, and that's what they're looking. They want it to be more turnkey. We provide that, and we've done the costing for that, and they can add that they like it. then they can add that to their event very easily. And we can coordinate that and blend it into their block space for it. And we have all of the resources around it. We work closely with our DMC partners for any and all things that have to do with the destination, getting out on the water. I mean, we believe that this is a destination sell, and that we want them to experience the entire destination.
It's, people are yearning for different space. They no longer want the air wall.
They don't want
close that air wall, and we're in breakouts, and they want fresh air, and they want space.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of that in Mar Vista here. I have an outside patio there that we'll do a meeting for 50 out there, and we'll put up flip charts and whatever they want. They love that space. Or we'll do separate breakout sessions in my hardscape cabanas out there. We have groups that'll take it out and do 18 breakouts in those spaces.
Wow.
We have ESPN women who would allow me to use their name, but they do their outdoor session here for 3 days for 250 women on this event lawn with staging, with AV, with screens. It's amazing.
It is.
So outdoor space is becoming a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially here. You come to California, the last thing you want to be is in a room, right?
Right.
So we're seeing a lot more of that for sure.
I think I'm also starting to receive more requests for, they want meeting space with windows. And there's not that many ballrooms in the country that have windows, especially with views like this. So, to have 2 ballrooms with windows, ocean facing and golf course facing is a wonderful blessing because we're kind of ahead of that request, ahead of that curve. I think that, as I mentioned, getting off property and having an evening that is special. And again, access to me is also something that defines luxury, because it's really whether it's access to unique locations that no one else could ever experience, or access to unique individuals, or creating something that they've never done before.
No, and we've talked about it before, but the CSR part of it, the corporate social responsibility part of it, we've talked about it as an industry for years now, right? It's coming. People are going to want to hook into it. It's here.
Yeah.
People are actually choosing that hotel destination based on their total CSR, right? Whether it's not just all about sustainability. It's what are you doing as a company in your social responsibility target, right? What are you backing? Where's the philanthropic, tie-in? And
I
all
see
those
that question in the RFP
comes
process.
all the time.
Yeah.
In the RFP process.
It's real.
And that's the only way that we're ever going to honestly make changes in industry, is when it starts to appear in the RFPs, when we start to hold people accountable, and all of us, and by hold all of us accountable, I actually mean humanity, because we all need to be responsible for whether it's, groups like, one of the things we supported recently was ECPAT, the End Child Prostitution and Trafficking.
Right.
So many hotels, airlines are now signing and joining the ECPAT code, saying that we're going to provide training to our staff on how to recognize those kinds of things.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Or it's, how are we managing our water systems? Or you're right, the charitable give backs, and how are you managing food waste and food recovery? And if we're not asking those questions, then how are we ever going to make any change at all? And of course, you have to ask them at the RFP stage, because it's not going to change after the contract is signed.
No.
So, that's going to be when you'll be like, what do you want us to do? It's
telling, though, too, about who that company is, who we are, to our future customer as well. And if there's an alignment there.
They want to know. They want to plug in.
I find that they're making alignment decisions. Yes. So are we aligned? Are we aligned with, your water conservation, about human trafficking, about those kinds of things? Yeah. It's important.
Well, and I think if, our world is a bit crazy out there. So I think the more that we can find and create and build a tribe of people who are aligned around, let's call them the things that are good.
Right.
Obviously elevated at a luxury experience, but you can actually pretty easily, I think, build luxury into your life a little bit every day. And that can be the luxury of taking time for yourself, or just, and it's there's a difference between most of us, certainly in North America, but in much of the developed world, we don't live where we are just doing survival.
Right.
So
Right.
but
Very
we can make
fortunate.
those choices where we don't have to have excess and waste, but we can still have a very luxurious experience. And I think
Without
that,
a doubt.
we're so fortunate to be those people. But then how do we then be socially responsible and share those? I think that becomes
Right.
definitely part of our
It's here.
Well, and
reason.
what you just said, the word that came to mind is mindful.
Yes.
Are we mindful of all the resources that we have here, and then making sure there is no waste, and making sure that we're being thoughtful and judicious with all that we have.
Yeah, and you are, which is good. I like that a lot. So we have a new generation coming up. So this generation that, they are digital natives, so they're sharing things. They are sharing lots of things very openly, and they also are in really a sharing economy. So are you seeing any of that impacting what's happening here? Are you seeing?
We definitely have a focus.
Yeah, I mean, we tend not to look at it in groups anymore and put people into like the millennials.
No.
And it's that was new a year ago, and now it's old again.
It's already old,
we
yes.
can't
No.
look at it like that, right? So we have to look at the way people are transacting business and trying to make it as easy as possible to do business with, and that's super important for us. There's some disruptors in our way, right? Sometimes people don't want to pick up the phone. They don't necessarily want to email. Maybe they want to text you, all right? And so now we're engaging a lot with clients via text.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about, like, if you don't have a chat bot, it's super important now to get that chat bot up and start engaging with clients, right? So we are seeing a lot of that.
I think my favorite chatbot story was South by Southwest. I think the statistic from 2 years ago, we did an interview with their director of operations, was that they had 54,000 questions answered by the chatbot. Because how many times can you say, what's the dress code for?
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Right? So that to me is a great use of a chatbot.
Now, there's some positives too in the technology world, and in that world is we're working on a native app for us here that we can talk to our meeting planners, right from the room. We can engage with our clients before they come here. We can start that engagement in the cloud before they even set foot here. And those are the disruptors that are coming, right? Even in our meeting world, AI and how people are booking business and all the booking engines now that even meeting planners are using. We're just a check for an RFP. And think about that in our business.
It's
at
horrible.
This 5-star level of luxury. We're a check.
I think maybe
check in a box.
Probably 3 or 4 years ago, I wrote an article that was basically all about why I really hate ERFPs.
Right.
So, and that's me as a meeting planner.
Right.
But it's
been a paradigm shift in our business.
It has been, but it doesn't help us.
Right.
I don't think.
It doesn't.
It needs to be a tool, but I think that the days of picking up the phone and getting face to face and eye to eye and sharing, this is a see, touch, and feel kind of resort, as you know now, being here. That it's tough in an ERFP process to convey that. I mean, images help.
Yeah.
But until they get here.
Well, I would say in the last year, out of 365 days, I've probably stayed in about 140 different places, honestly. So it's been, first I just took time off to travel on my own, and then I got this job. So I can tell you that everywhere in the world is somewhere that you should see it firsthand, and know that you're working with the people that you can trust, because anything can look good on a website. And the challenge with ERPs too, I find, is that it just becomes a really bad numbers game. It's our 5,000 square foot ballroom holds 500 people. Liar.
Right.
Right. It's not true.
Yeah.
So
your chart's false.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But it's or our rate is X, but what does that rate include? Or you have a resort fee, but again, what does that resort fee include? Or you have taxes and gratuities and all of these. So it just becomes about checking off the things that aren't the right things, because particularly on incentive level programs, the impact comes from the specialness of where you are.
That's right.
And that specialness doesn't come from I ticked off a box with a number on it.
Without a doubt. And we want to get to know the group intimately. We want to understand what really makes them tick, because Because what's going to be moving forward in all the AI environment that's even coming into the incentive practice is it's not one gift for all.
No.
It's not one shoe fits all in the incentive.
They're
right?
setting up shops. There's pop-up shops that are being set up. And the last group that we just had in,
it has to be personal. It has to be unique to the individual to really elevate that specialness.
Yeah.
To really walk away from here going, wow.
Or they can go and get the color that they want,
Right,
and the fit that's right, and
this last meeting that was here, they actually ordered their gifts and their items online in advance before they arrived, and then they had the pop-up shop here. So in the event they wanted to exchange anything, they could. But so there was an advance gifting suite that was set up, which I thought was really ingenious.
That is really interesting. That is, to me, a good use of technology.
It's a next level gifting element.
That to me is such an important part of it, and again,
Personalizes it.
There's just so many times that you get gifts and you're just, but why? Who thought that I would want?
Did you really think I would?
I know, right? It's like, this just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. So it's, now we have been talking about luxury experiences, and you did mention Prosecco and painting and
We did.
bubbles and balloons. Do you ever sometimes just sit around and think, I just made up that name and I love it?
He's got a new one that he just came out with, I think, rosé
Speaking of Prosecco.
and croquet. Speaking
I
of
like
Prosecco,
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
Robert, did you order this for everyone?
Outstanding. No, this just comes to every individual on
Thank
property
you.
at any given time.
Hi, Summer.
It's
How are you?
a delight.
How are you?
Hi, Summer. Thank
you so much.
So,
Cheers.
Summer, I'm going to put you on the spot, if that's okay. Just step a little bit and
Step into our camera.
See you. Yeah, sure.
Just camera.
So, they've been telling me a lot about the training and the people who work here and how important and special they are. And I've just had an amazing 3 days here. So tell me what it's like to work here.
I absolutely love it. It's in banquets, we do something different every single day, and it just makes it so fun to come to work. And just everything is always a step above that, and it really pushes me to become a better server myself.
You're like a star, Summer. Thanks for
Thank you.
It is a star. Fantastic.
Thanks for that.
Thank you, Summer.
Right?
Cheers to
Cheers.
a fantastic
Cheers.
program.
And thanks for the site
Thank you
board
for
being here.
amazing.
It's our pleasure.
We had a wonderful time, and I never get to drink on the
And
show.
cheers to
so
you out there.
That's right. To our global community.
wherever you are. All right, so now that we're holding this in our hands, so shifts in food and beverage. So we've had the year of every vegetable. What's happening now in food and beverage?
Oh boy, it's interactive. It's highly interactive, right? Whether you're building your own food to eat or you're building your own smoothie to drink, that it's your personal mix that makes you feel well.
That really is the trend.
It really is
It
big.
really
Presentation is big. Gone is the day of the chafing dish or something holding something hot. It's now all about open crocks and cast iron and display.
Chef preparing in front of you, the action stations.
Without a doubt. I mean, we do banquets differently here than I've done anywhere else. We do it a la minute. We fire that dinner as the people sit down, just like a restaurant.
Wow.
We toss the salad and plate it the minute it goes out. And it's really something special that really separates us. Even the food on our buffets, we're firing that food half an hour and making it prior to when it's going to be set. We never hold anything in hot box here.
Ever.
It's a big difference.
Sure, I didn't have anything wrong, which was I was super happy about, and literally everything was delicious.
Yeah,
And we
it's
ate down
really
at the
amazing.
pool. Yeah.
And we did eat at the pool, which I'm thinking there's not a kitchen right beside that pool.
That's correct.
Yeah, and the
He set up
reason
a
we
temporary
can do it is
down
our satellite kitchens are amazing. We have 8 different kitchens in this 332 room hotel.
Wow.
We can satellite something prior to an event better than anybody. And that gives us the ability to do it and plate it and assemble it by the area it's being served.
Again, I always find
makes
that food and beverage magic,
It's magic.
I do.
It really is.
And it's also, obviously, everything that we had was also super fresh, like lots of local sourcing, you could tell.
It's all
We were
local
talking about the
sourcing.
avocado, so, our group is, 18 people from 10 countries, and they were like, these avocados, they were just like...
They came from the Irvine Ranch.
Yeah.
I mean,
You take them for
we grow
granted.
avocados and strawberries better than anyone.
Yeah, they were like, literally, these are the best avocados we've ever had in our whole life. And
Yeah.
can we just have, I think literally people ate 2 to 3 avocados each per meal.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great. They'll all have lower cholesterol when they get
I know.
them.
And
That's it.
they won't turn you green, contrary to popular belief. So tell me about each of you, one of your favorite, most extraordinary experiences that's happened here.
I think that we were talking about indigenous, blending the environment that we're in to an evening event and being a part of crafting that. So, we do something called an Italian festa, and it's our answer to Mardi Gras. So
Excellent.
it's Italian style. And basically, we take the Italian theme and we combine it with either we do it in a courtyard environment, we do it where our ancient olives are down at the end of Via Bellagio, and we create kind of a street festa
Oh, wow.
feeling
Yeah.
that has a market type experience. There's flow and movement amongst the party. You have different things going on. You have pizza throwing going on, and pizza ovens are there. You have the risotto station. You have opera being sung. You have dancing going on. You have a limoncello bar. So all
Excellent.
of those fun things. And we have a whole menu of decor and food and beverage that goes with that party, because that's a signature for us.
Mhm.
And we can do it anywhere here in the hotel. But we just
I love it.
recently did it for 300 people, and we thought maybe they'd be done around 9 or 10 o'clock. 10:30 at night, they're out
Still
there
there.
having
Yeah.
a great time.
Yeah.
And, that's always the signature of a good
Yes.
party when they don't want
Yes.
to go home.
I know.
We
It's
really
so-
do a lot of
It was the final
signature
night.
events here,
Yeah.
like really super high level events.
What's been your favorite?
One that sticks out in my mind quite a bit is at the ESPN Women in Sports Conference.
Which I kind of want to go to now. Like, I want to be that cool.
And do a general session
it's
out
tremendous.
here. It was fantastic.
And there were 250 women in the audience. And Sheryl Crow was playing. It was an intimate setting, and after her set, which was so good, right? She spoke to them woman to woman about her struggles and what she has come through in her life and the adversity that she's been through. And I was like, what an event, what a personal experience for those attendees to identify with what she's gone through in her trials and tribulations. It was a magical moment. It was a great night. The lighting was
authentic.
perfect. It was authentic. It was intimate for 250. It was everything we want, and it really came off.
Kind of everything I want. Right? Like, I want all of those things at an event.
Yeah.
So I have some personal event hot buttons. So I'm going to see what you guys think
Sure.
of these. So, tables of 8 to 10 make me want to poke my eyes out. So I have 2
We're
missions.
seeing fewer and fewer of
I
that.
have 2 meeting missions in life. One is to erase beige food from meetings in general.
Nice. Like it.
So
Except for soda.
not risotto. No. So let me just say, I'm not doing. How about instead of eliminate, limit?
Limit.
Okay.
Limit,
Some things
because-
are worth.
Well, it's totally, but it's also about how people feel during the time that they're with us for a meeting.
Right.
So how are we? If you have a croissant and a coffee, maybe delicious, but 10 o'clock you're then looking for that next hit, and
Yeah.
then you
Right.
have your past out lunch, and nobody wants to speak
Mhm.
after lunch, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I have this sort of, and that was one of the things that our board commented on. Imagine, we really were trapped in a room for 8 hours every day.
It was an intense meeting
It
schedule.
was an intense meeting schedule, and my hair is crazy today.
Looks great.
Thank you. But the food made a difference to how they were. We literally had people coming in from all of these countries,
Absolutely.
from Singapore and China and Turkey and Ireland, and so that they're dealing with the time difference because they're here only for 2.5 days,
Mhm.
and so they really found that the beds were comfortable, the light was right, but also really commented on that the food made them feel better while they were here.
That's
so
great.
It's
It's good to know. Think about it. When we travel internationally and we're in a different country, the food is going to be different. And how many times have we traveled to a country where maybe it just didn't agree with us, but that was part of the reason why when we designed those the menu, there were going to be a lot of options.
Yes.
We wanted,
And there were,
so there was something for everyone.
Yeah.
And that I think Amanda achieved that really well. in crafting those menus. But you really did have a global pull, a global reach. I mean, everything from, China, from Beijing, China to Brussels to UK to Turkey to, I mean, it was.
We are from everywhere.
Everywhere.
Which is also what makes the association so interesting. So lovely. Honestly, I'm so lucky to work there.
We feel lucky to have had them here.
Yep.
We feel lucky to be here. So this is like a win. This is what we call a win-win.
So happy you said yes.
Who would say no? My God. So food and beverage, someone made the comment to me that, that food is an area when we travel that makes us feel vulnerable. And it was such an interesting thought to me because I had never thought of it that way. So it was one of, I guess we had in a program, we were in Switzerland, he's American. But I just thought, what an interesting perspective. And I think that what we achieved was that sense of safety around the food that was here.
Right.
Because...
And it's something that I don't think that I had realized until we're digging into it right now. I'm aware of that, of what that statement is about, feeling vulnerable in a country where maybe I'm not going to eat well this week because maybe I'm not going to like everything.
Yeah.
Right.
But for someone to feel comfortable and feel well-fed and that they liked it, wonderful.
Yeah.
So I think that taking that into consideration with international attendees almost takes on an even heightened importance.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it was really, I had never, and again, I've thought a lot about traveling, and as I've been traveling for the last, really consistently, and I just hadn't thought of it that way, but again, it made so much sense.
Right.
I was like,
Yep.
So I think that is one of the things as we bring people to wherever we are, that's something that we can think about. All right, so we are getting close to the end. See, I told you it would go really fast.
No way.
I can't believe it.
I know.
Like 5 minutes.
So what's one tip or trick, you can have 2 if you want, for all those event professionals out there? We have all of these, hundreds of thousands really, but people who are planning meetings and events and incentives. What is one thing that you'd like to share with them that makes everything easier for all of us? Or one great resource?
One great resource.
Favorite book, a favorite website, a favorite tip.
Wow.
So I had no beige food. My other one is every table should be a maximum of 6 people.
I like that.
Yeah.
I do like that.
I like that.
Lots of research showing that you can actually have a conversation with a table of 6.
My thing is, think differently. Empower your people to bring up the ideas. We're installing a living graffiti wall in our sales office.
What?
That will allow us to put up ideas of, we have a group coming in and we're working on a Saturday night function. This is what it is. Give us your feedback on how you may execute that, or whatever the topic is, that allow our entire staff to weigh in on that. Right? So empower your people to bring the idea to the forefront and try and execute some of those ideas, to push the boundaries, to do something different, to get out of your comfort zone, right? But be a part of a cultural space that allows you to do that. And step up and say your piece, and don't be afraid to fail. It's super important.
Fail forward.
Because you fail 100 times before you win the big one. You just do.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what keeps, when you sharpen the saw every day. Every day, you're pushing yourself, and we were talking about with you and Mr. Donovan, Tom Donovan's our managing director, and he talks about just a certain level of stress. Certain level of stress is good every day because we're pushing ourselves to be our best, and making sure that we're double checking everything and that the quality is still there. And that's the thing for me, is about slowing down, checking everything twice, making sure that it meets my standard, and then actually being far more productive that way. Empowerment. I'm really about empowerment. That's I was sitting with you when we were doing the videos, and I was watching someone to my left who had grabbed a salad to go back to her room. She decided to sit down with her 6-year-old.
And I saw you get up and she get you a plate.
She started to eat out of her to-go salad, and I said, just let me put that on a plate for you. And she thought that was fantastic. But I mean, it's treating people as if they're in their home. And that's really what it boils down to, is treating them as though they're our guests, our personal guests, and then empowering our team to deliver and take care of them in a way that they want to return.
Yeah, it turns out that I am actually super judgy about some things. And one of my new things, though, is if I'm walking through a hotel with the sales manager and doing a site, which, this is how I spend a lot of my time now. Yeah. And if we walk over something that's dropped on the floor and they just walk past it, I'm like,
oh, you won't see that here.
No, you would never see that here.
Yeah.
And in fact, I've only seen it twice in 25 years of doing site visits. But I don't want to go back to that hotel because I think you don't care.
Right.
We ask people to be a part of that, right?
Yeah.
We ask people to use the public restrooms as far as our management staff. And when you're in there and when you leave, and of course this is a little too much information, probably, but if you notice the toilet paper isn't folded the right way, fold it. You wash your hands and there's stuff on the sink, wipe it down.
Yeah.
Like, be a part of
be part of the
perfection.
solution.
The pursuit of perfection.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, it is those small things. I love that.
We write care reports internally, and we have personal care reports. So, because we need people to care here. So, personal care reports are written every day about making sure that everything is cared for, taken care of, anything that needs to be refurbished, anything at all. So that
we encourage our staff to bring the defects forward.
Yes.
The more, the better.
Yeah, I love that.
Want to know.
Well, and it's such a, people are often so scared to do that.
Right.
And you're right, we can't be afraid of, things are going to go wrong. Just deal with them when they go wrong.
Right.
And try to have enough other things set up that are going right that, you're not going to fail because of one thing.
Yep.
It's not what happens to us, it's how we respond.
Right? Oh, so true. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
So how would you describe this resort in a couple of words with us? What do you leave here with?
Because you have a really fresh perspective.
So I leave here thinking it's a place where you can easily feel mindful. And I think that is, it's people are leaving here, like I said, after 2 days of meetings, very intense meetings, feeling mindful and invigorated. And that's hard to do. Really, going to a board meeting, not always the most, not something that everyone looks forward to. Is going to sit and, in a meeting room. And of course, you're having lively discussions and you're learning things from each other. But when you can leave feeling good, especially when you've traveled 16 hours and are about to travel 16 hours again. And I think that just everything about the fresh air, the food, the getting out and enjoying the experiences was pretty magical. So
thanks.
I would say that we programmed more outdoor time than I've ever seen in a board meetings environment. And that makes sense with you being inside so much. Yeah. So,
and honestly, it's not like the weather has been amazing and it hasn't mattered.
The sun has been a little shy, just a little shy this week.
But we can't control the weather.
Except the one night we were at the pool and we got a sunset.
We can't control the weather, just how we respond to it. So, all right. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have no idea if this was live or not because, it could have gone either way. But this is Event Icons. We do it every week live.
From somewhere in the world.
However that works, from somewhere in the world.
And you have 2 huge fans now.
You guys there's 167 other episodes you can watch. I'm sure that there's a whole bunch of other things I'm supposed to have said that they can edit in later, which is, I love the interviewing part of this job, but it's, I also have a whole other job to do.
You do a great job too.
Great job.
You made us look good this week. Thank you.
You guys are great. So thank you.
Yeah.
And we're going to go peace out to the Event Icons world. We're going to say thanks for having us. And if you couldn't watch it live because we didn't actually hit the right button, it's recorded on the cloud. We know that for sure.
We think so.
And we'd like to thank Justin from 5 Star for helping us out.
Thank you,
Justin.
You're a star. All right.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tahira.
Thank you for joining us for another amazing episode of #Event Icons. To catch all the bonus content, resources mentioned, and an invite to our Facebook and LinkedIn groups, head to www.event-icons.com. Also, let us know what you thought about this week's episode. Share your biggest takeaway. Just tag your post with #Event Icons. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you again for joining us. We'll see you next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on #Event Icons.